Peace negotiations between Pakistan and Afghanistan continue despite obstacles in Turkey's largest city, Istanbul. Welcome to another episode of Let Ali Show You. Talks that have been ongoing now for days between the Pakistani government and the Afghan Taliban government in Istanbul have hit many snags, with both sides seemingly entrenched in their positions. The Afghan Taliban accuse the Pakistanis of not giving guarantees that they will not attack Afghanistan and Afghanistan's sovereignty in case the Pakistani Taliban attack Pakistan positions. On the other hand, the Pakistanis say they need guarantees that in case the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan or the Pakistani Taliban attack them, that the Afghan Taliban will take strong actions. To get a better understanding of where this entire process is, I'm joined once again by Sangar Paykar. He is the founder, podcaster for the Afghan Eye. Sangar, what's the latest information that you have from these talks?
Thank you for having me, Ali. What I've heard this morning is that the Afghan side basically said that the negotiation failed because the demands from the Pakistani side were that Afghanistan provides guarantees that the groups such as Hafiz Gul Bahadur and TTP don't conduct any attacks. But this implies that Afghans take responsibility for a group that is in Pakistan. And on the other hand, the Afghans were saying that we want guarantees that the ISKP group, which is allegedly based in Balochistan, and other political groups that are opposed to the current government in Afghanistan, that they don't conduct any kind of activities in Pakistan against Afghanistan. And further, another detail is that the drones, the US drones that have been surveilling Afghanistan for the past 4 years, the Pakistani authorities have repeatedly denied that they are providing any basis for American espionage or attack drones. But in the negotiations, one of the issues that was raised that the Pakistani side should not allow anyone to do that kind of espionage or surveillance. So these are contentions between the two sides that have basically created this rupture. That's why they couldn't reach any agreement. However, the latest that I've heard is that the Turkish host of the negotiations, they have asked both sides to resume. And what I've heard is that the Pakistani delegation is asked to come back and continue and resume where they have left off. So we'll see how this rolls out.
What are these sides negotiating? If there seems to be such ambiguity for both the sides, the Pakistanis say that the Afghans need to do more. The Afghans say that this is your internal problem, that you shouldn't enter our side of the dividing line. There are also issues on what that dividing line is. So what are these sides actually discussing?
I would say that it's primarily a lack of trust on both sides. And there are competing interests. So the Pakistani side, they had certain expectations about a Taliban government in Afghanistan. Those expectations are not materializing. And on the other hand, the Taliban are also expecting from the Pakistanis to give them the kind of treatment that they would have expected from a side that more or less supported them for 2 decades, and they haven't received that kind of support. So this has created a lot of mistrust between two nations. And I would say that it's not just a matter of resolving the current tensions. It's more historic in the sense that Pakistan has its own historic tensions with Afghanistan, whether it's the Durand Line or other matters related to groups such as TTP. But for now, the most urgent matter is that both sides agree to a level of understanding where they acknowledge that both sides are responsible for the security of one another. And this creates a very precarious situation, because if Afghanistan takes responsibility for security matters on the other side of the Durand line, and likewise Pakistan takes responsibility for groups such as NRF and others, and other political dissidents that have been having conferences in Islamabad even recently. Basically, they have to both take some responsibility on both sides. And that kind of mutual agreement puts both countries on equal level playing field. And I don't think that a nuclear-powered Pakistani government, its military and its power, everything, that doesn't just allow them to play like equal players with the Taliban government. So this is the reason why I think that the Pakistanis are more anxious and less willing to reach any kind of agreement.
So Pakistan, as you mentioned, is a nuclear power. It has one of the largest armed forces, organized armed forces in the world. The Afghan Taliban government regime, whatever you want to call it, is a nascent political entity. It's only been in place at this time for about 5 years now, less than 5 years actually. Now
Yes.
4.5 years now. There's also an American element. These talks are being mediated by Turkey. The first round was mediated successfully, one might add, by Qatar. There is some talk that the Qataris are favoring the Afghan position. Are the Americans involved? Because Donald Trump still says that he'll mediate. Zalmay Khalilzad has also made a lot of trips recently with the Saudis to sign some sort of agreements with the Afghan Taliban leadership, including Mullah Baradar. How involved are the Americans?
The official spokesman of the Islamic Emirate, Zabiullah Mujahid, has recently made a statement that they were approached by the Americans to partake in these negotiations, but they say that they have rejected them, and they said, we are fine. We have the Qataris and the Turks who are involved, and we have to acknowledge that Qatar is a close ally of United States. Qatar is where CENTCOM is based, the largest military base of the Americans in the Middle East. Turkey is part of the NATO. So indirectly, the Americans are part of the conversation. And I do think that considering the recent relationship of the current government of Pakistan and the military chief Asim Munir's visit to the White House, while the Americans are not present in Istanbul, they are part of the dynamic. So I do think that what the Americans think about the situation and what they prefer does have its implications on the outcome of these negotiations.
But there's a big question. What do the Americans think about these negotiations, and what are they preferring?
One of the issues that has been discussed, and we have also discussed this before, is the Bagram Air Base. So I'm not even sure if they have discussed Bagram in these negotiations, but I would say that Americans are very keen on getting some kind of leverage and foothold in this region, because China and Russia are their competitors in the region, and they need to somehow regain a foothold in this part of the world.
Sangar Paykar, we'll leave it there. Thank you again for that update on the Pakistan-Afghanistan negotiations currently underway in Istanbul. Well, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. I'll be back with another update soon. Do like, subscribe, and share this content. I hope you like this interaction with Sangar Paykar, the host of Afghan Eye. I'll see you next time. Till then, take care.